Welcome back to Robinson's Automotive, toolsandtime.com. Today we have this 2009 Volkswagen EOS with 2.0T. Vehicle got towed in. He said the check engine light started flashing, engine started feeling funny, so he didn't want to push it. So it's here now. We're getting ready to plug in the scan tool to see if it can point us in some kind of direction, and I figured I'd take you guys along. I'll be using my Autel MaxiSys. All right, so we did a complete scan. She finished up. We want to go into the engine, see what we have stored here. We're gonna go right for trouble codes. But the one I'm really looking at now, what I felt when I was coming in was this cylinder 3 misfire. That's where I think most of our problem lies. So we're gonna go into advanced values. So what I'm looking for is engine misfire data. There's misfire counter. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's cylinder 1 through 4, and we want to see the misfire counters as it's running. Okay, so we have the misfire data up. I'm just going to reach in here. I'm going to start it. They have a broken ignition switch, so they have a screwdriver that they're starting with. Well, and as we see right away, cylinder number 3 is counting up. Has 144,000 miles on it. So on something with this many miles on it, the culprit is usually an ignition coil. Could be due to worn plugs as well. But what I want to do as a quick test, this should pop right off. Okay. Right here is our ignition coils. 1, 2, 3, 4. We know we have a misfire right here on cylinder 3, correct? So what if we take and we switch the coil to cylinder number 2 and see if the counter moves. So see if the issue moves with the coil. So then we'll do that and take from there. It's a pretty common practice that I use here. When I can get to the coils easily, it only takes a couple minutes on these. They don't even have hold down bolts. You just gotta pull them out if I remember correctly. It's been a while. Yeah, they just clip in. I don't see any oil in 3, so that's a good sign. So we're gonna take 2, move it over to 3. Then we're gonna take this one, which I believe might be our culprit. We're gonna move it over to cylinder number 2, and then we're gonna plug everything back in. Okay. I'm going to take you guys back over. I wish it would keep the list populated. That's one of the things I don't care for. All right. Hopefully what I'm hoping we see now is the misfire move from cylinder 3 over to cylinder number 2. Yep, there you go. This cylinder 3 had a 1 count, but that could be because the plug was kind of fouled from the misfire. But you can see our misfire moved to cylinder number 2. We'll give it a couple seconds here. Yep, and see if it starts counting. Yep, there it goes. I could hear it in the tailpipe. So the misfire moved, so that tells us, hey, it's moving with the coil. So has a bad coil. What took out the coil, we don't know, but we'll pull the plugs and we'll inspect them. I'm going to tell them, hey, since I had that misfire, let's replace all 4 plugs. Be on the safe side, and I'm going to recommend all 4 coils. Okay, so we got the okay to do all 4 coil packs along with all 4 spark plugs. So we're going to push in these clips, push this harness back, and we're just going to pull out all 4 coil packs. This one is our bad one. Okay. 5/8 spark plug socket, deep extension. I'm just pulling out all 4 spark plugs for now. I'll set them in order, and then we'll do a quick evaluation. So here's our spark plugs. They all appear to be burning relatively even across the board. Not too concerned there. I'm using the NGK Iridium. They come pre-capped. I always double check them just in case, but these ones were right on the money. Even just give it a quick visual to make sure the box wasn't dropped, because that happens. Always check the porcelain as well, because new doesn't always mean good, because a box could be dropped or somebody could return them because they ordered the wrong ones. You just never know how they were handled. So there's been more than once where I've seen something that didn't really look too good, even quality control, you know, and I just sent it back. Don't even take a chance. If you questioned it, don't chance it. That goes with any part. You'll feel when the crush collar or the crush washer, there's a little washer on the bottom of the spark plug. It comes expanded a little bit and then it crushes. You'll feel when it crushes all the way, and then just give it a little bit more. I'll give you guys the torque specs, but that's just a practice I use. And that comes with time. Today we chose to use the door last coils from AutoZone, and no, they are not a sponsor, but they do supply us with a lot of parts at a lot of great prices that the customer opted to go with. So nice looking coil, nice looking sheath. They come pre-greased. I wonder if Wells Manufacturing are still manufacturing the coils for AutoZone. Great company, Wells. Some of your best electronics are made by them. And they used to make their coils, and I wonder if they're still making their coils. The quality looks as if it came from someplace like Wells. So I would not be surprised. Maybe the box will tell us. But each one so far looks phenomenal. Okay, everything pushed in nicely. Make sure to seat it all the way. Now we're going to take and plug in the coils. Just line up all 4. There's kind of a rigid harness on these. You want to make sure they're clipped all the way in. Okay, so this cover back on. All right. Fired right off. Using a screwdriver on that, it's hard to find accessory on and start. We just started it. We'll let it run for a little bit. Let's bring up that misfire counter. Sounds good so far. Yeah. So far, so good. I think we got it, guys. Pretty straightforward one. All right, guys, also sounds pretty good. It's got a little squeak from the belt up there. While we had the key on, diagnosing it, the headlights come on as well. So I'm sure the battery's kind of depleted a little bit, so the alternator's working a little bit of overtime. But as you see, there's no more misfires. We're going to take it for a nice test drive, put it under a load, and make sure our misfires look solid at that point as well. But I believe this one's a fix. Pretty straightforward, and that's how I go about diagnosing it and also confirming it, and then replacing the parts, and leave with a good feeling. Now, as you know, we can't always trust the parts we put on the cars, but what we can do is trust our approach and do the best that we can in diagnosing and fixing the car's issue. Just wrapping up this Volkswagen. So far, everything is running fantastic. There's no more misfires. I put it under a load, went over a couple nice sized hills with no issues, no misfire counters. So I believe this one is a wrap, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to follow along. Right here's a nice decent hill coming up, nice grade. This is where, if you have something that's going to act up under a load, like ignition, a lot of times this is where it will do it. As you can see, everything is looking fantastic. Also, while I was here, we did a front wheel alignment along with 2 front tires. So I just want to show you on this straight. You can check out this no wheel straight steering wheel action. Everything feels fantastic. Track's nice. And I think the customer's going to be very happy. He still needs an ignition switch. That's a little bit of an inconvenience, but we'll see if we could talk him into that as well. Alright, I'm just pulling back around to the shop. Everything's looking good. Feels great. Just wanted to thank you guys one more time. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I always look forward to reading your feedback. And on to the next lineup. Let's get her done.